Good afternoon, everyone. This is Beth Bronder with ACCE. I'm going to speak slowly as I see people starting to filter into our session today. Thank you and welcome to our session, Restart Your Travel Program with 70 International Destinations. Today, we'll be hearing from our friends at Citslinc with their partners from North San Diego Business Chamber. And before I turn things over to Leo and Deborah, I'm going to do a few housekeeping items. First of all, this is an express Zoom session, so it is just 20 minutes today, so it's going to feel rather quick. Don't worry, we will absolutely leave time for questions and answers with about 5 minutes left. Everyone is muted today, so if you have questions or comments for us, you're going to put those in the chat, and I will review those as they come in and elevate them to our speakers. Again, last 5 minutes will be Q&A, and this session is being recorded. So if you or anyone else on your team hasn't been able to see it or would like to see it again, it will be posted within 12 hours on our on-demand section, as well as put up on the Citslinc profile page. So with that, I would like to hand things over to our longtime dedicated chamber sponsor. He's been a corporate sponsor of ACCE's for quite some time, Mr. Leo Lowe. He is the president of Citslinc, and with him today is Deborah Rosen, the president of the North San Diego Business Chamber of Commerce, and they're going to be talking about their 12 years together producing amazing and profitable travel programs. So folks, take it away and tell us what your secret is.
Thank you, Beth. I say a few words to start with. Because not everybody come to the Zoom meeting might understand what's the meaning of Citslinc. Welcome everybody to join us. Citslinc means Chamber International Travel Service. It was incorporated in California in 1995. We work with 1,200 chambers, and we provide like a 70 different itinerary to visit 80 foreign country in the world. In the past 21 years, actually, we are the founder of a chamber travel program. So we make a lot of friends, including ACCE. We work with ACCE for over 15 years. And we work together to promote more chamber to join the international travel program to make non-due revenue. And we also work with ACCE to provide the free inspection travel to foreign country to make more chamber CEO get familiarization about international travel and share with the experience how to make non-due revenue. So Deborah is my old friend, and her chamber is San Diego Business Chamber. Work with me for a long time. So we successfully cooperated each other in the past. And unfortunately, the coronavirus stopped some trip for all chamber last year. But fortunately, Deborah returned from our free inspection trip last year back from Vietnam. And now, so we work together, try to resume the international travel. Her experience with us return from Vietnam benefit her promotion now. So I think Deborah can talk better than I. My English probably a little bit difficult for you to understand. So Deborah, would you please share with the audience about your chamber particular interest and experience for the Chamber International Travel with us? Thank you.
Thanks, Leo. I'm sure. So we have worked with Leo for 10 years. I've been at the Chamber 12, and Leo came to us about 11 years ago and was talking to us about international travel. And it was something we had never done before. But it sounded so good. We said, okay, well, let's give it a try. So we did our first trip 10 years ago. We had 63 travelers. And at the time, 10 years ago, it was we only marked it up to $200 per traveler. And we made $13,000 that year in non-dues revenue. And it was so easy. Then we did a second trip, and we did that one 6 years ago. And we had, I think, close to 40 people on that one. And it was our very first time doing international travel. And it was really, really well put together. We've worked with 4 different travel groups on different destinations. And right today, we're only working with 2 of those 4. And Citslinc is become one of our favorites to work with. And I'll tell you why. They've been really easy to work with. And they are the only travel organization that allows us to keep the deposit up front. So with most travel groups, everything gets paid to the travel group, and then they send you your deposit, the amount that you get once a trip is completed. With Leo, we take the deposit, the Chamber gets to keep the deposit. And if for some reason someone cancels the trip, Leo does have a great cancellation policy where he will refund it if there's the right reason behind it, but we still get to keep the deposit, because that's one thing that's made very clear up front. There's never, ever, ever any surprises. You get exactly what he says you're going to get and more. And my only complaint, and it's not really a complaint, but it is a complaint, is that you see so much and do so much in those 10 days that it's hard to remember what you did when you first got there. So you almost always want to go back and do the trip again because you know what to expect. So they're just packed. Leo always works with us on extras. And when I say extras, we know that we're San Diego. We don't have a lot of international flights leave San Diego. So we have to go to LA. And getting to LA and LAX in particular can be daunting. So Leo said to us, well, don't worry about it. We'll get you a tour bus and we'll have them take your group up to LA and bring your group back to San Diego when they come back. And he didn't charge us anything extra for that. He just wanted to make sure everything was perfect. And Leo, you've done that twice for us now. And you said you would do it for this next trip that we're getting ready to take. What's really neat, and I can talk about this when I talk about our exploratory trip, is some of the tours can be adjusted. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. One of the biggest challenges I have in being a chamber that's dealing with people that are traveling and spending a lot of money is they'll come to us and they want their questions answered immediately. And we pride ourselves on getting back to our members immediately. And sometimes it takes several days for our travel partners to get back to us. But Leo, I can tell you, I have never gone more than 2 hours without him responding to something that I've sent him. And I love it. and our travelers like it, because then it makes us look good. So I talked about the cancellation policy. It's very fair, and his costs are very fair. I mean, for us to take people over to Vietnam for $2,300, $2,400 is nothing, and people can't believe it. And I'll talk about that trip in just a second. Actually, I'll go into that right now. Oh, one thing I do want to tell you is when we put together a trip with Leo, we have an orientation for anybody to come, and Leo will fly in and he'll come to San Diego and he'll meet with them. And we did one for our upcoming Vietnam trip, and there were probably about 16 people there. And Leo says, oh, if you want me to come again, I'll come again. So we're doing another one at the end of July. But he's always accessible, and people like that. So I really appreciate that. And he does take care of the visas for us, because a visa can be daunting for first-time travelers. And I know it was for me. And Leo and Katie in his office, they take care of all of that for us, and it makes it very, very simple. So I want to talk a little bit about the exploratory trip that I just took. It was interesting because when Leo offered this up, I kind of was, I don't know, but I've always wanted to see it. And I thought, okay, this is the best way to go. Well, then, as it got closer, we went the last 2 weeks of February of 2019. Was it 19 or 20? It was right
20.
before COVID. It was right before COVID shut down. And no, actually it was 20. It was 20. So we left February 18th and we got back February 28th. And quite a few people had canceled. They were nervous about COVID. And I was taking one of my board members with me and she said, "Aren't you nervous?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "Okay, if you're going, I'm going." And I'll tell you why I wasn't nervous. We had done so much business with Leo that I trusted him. And I knew he would never put us in a bad situation. So I do have to say, we did order N95 masks and we were totally prepared before we went. But those people that canceled at the last minute, they missed the greatest trip I've ever taken. And I'll tell you some of the reasons why it was pretty cool. We get over there. First of all, the flights were really well scheduled. And the cost of the trip for our travelers, they're going to be so blown away by it because you get so much for what you're spending. And the reason I went on the exploratory trip was I wanted to see if it's something my members would like. And I got back and I shared it with a lot of people. And then we hosted the meeting. Well, I got back the 28th. COVID shut everything down, I think March 13th. And oh, thank God I went. That was the last international trip I did. And it was fabulous, but I was sharing it with everybody. And we were getting interest lists together and people were signing up, but then COVID never ended. And so now that we see COVID's coming to an end, we have rescheduled another trip with Leo. We're taking a group of our members. We have 24 signed up already. And we're going on February 19th, I believe, 18th or 19th.
Yeah.
We have 24 already signed up and they're really excited about it. But it's so much more than somebody would ever expect to see. And the history and everything you learn and the food. And I just don't know how you can do it for that amount of money. I really don't. We're really excited. We like working with Leo. He's got some more inspection trips coming up and I look forward to going on as many of them as I can. He's got one coming up to Japan. I really want to take my members to Japan, so I want to check that one out. And then also he's got a free inspection trip to Italy and he knows Italy's my favorite place. So I'm definitely going to take that one. And with that, it's just a really great non-dues way to generate revenue for your organization. And he makes it so simple.
That's terrific. Deborah, I'm guessing, Leo, that our attendees can go to your profile page or virtual booth to get information on upcoming inspection trips, because I'm sure that's on everyone's mind. It sounds to me, Deborah, like that is a really key element, is making sure you've experienced what the people that you're marketing the trips are experiencing. Can you tell me, do you market to members, non-members, or both?
Well, we market to everybody. So we've gotten some articles in news publications, in our community publications. We've marketed to our members and non-members through our database. We are doing email blasts. So a lot of it's word of mouth. And what's really interesting is I would say maybe 20% of our travelers don't even live in San Diego. They live in other states. And so Leo's able to work with them with that too. Some of them travel to San Diego, meet their friends here. But if they're coming from another state, Leo's able to work on that so that you all get into the same place at the right time. So it's, I have to tell you, being a CEO of a chamber, of a regional chamber, it's a lot of work. And the last thing I will ever do is take on something that causes me more work, because our hands are already so full. And the one thing about this chamber travel is it's easy for us, but it's even easier for our travelers because all they have to do is pack a bag. We do everything and then we pass it over to Leo and he does it all.
Can you tell me about how much time it takes you and your staff to work each one of the trips? And do you do multiples within a year?
We do. Well, we have one coming up in November with another group that we've had canceled and rescheduled twice because of COVID. That's with another group. But with Leo, we've got this one coming up and we're hoping to do in Italy and one with him after we do this one in February to Vietnam.
In addition, my office at Los Angeles, we have office manager help chamber to do some booking, reservation, registration work. And as soon as the passenger pay the deposit directly to the chamber put the money into their pocket and forward us the registration form. My office will on chamber behalf issue the invoice individually to everybody. So we'll make the sign up the passenger understand how much the balance due and what time for the final payment to the airline for ticketing. So we try to save the labor and the time for the chamber. And we also prepare the orientation meeting and we design the promotion flyer. And we also prepare for the everybody traveling the trip for them, like a name badge, luggage tag, and everything. And also the shuttle bus service between the chamber location and their gateway airport. And we also put the chamber at a risk-free position. We buy the post-departure travel insurance for each individual passenger. So to keep the chamber from any possible liability after the trip.
Yeah, can I add to that? So when we did our first trip to China, we really did a lot of the work for the first one, but I'm glad we did because we learned the process. But here we are 10 years later. Now Leo and Katie are doing all the work. So our travelers, they fill everything out. They fax it to us or they email it to us. We get the deposit and then we just send it up to Leo and we keep a running spreadsheet. But what we like to do is we keep our travelers engaged. So maybe once every 2 weeks between now and up to the trip, we're sending them little tidbits about Vietnam or about China, wherever it is we're going, we keep them touch points with them. But it's fun to do it that way. But the cool thing too, and this is a part that I really like, is to get a visa is daunting. It's so simple with Leo. We send him pictures of our passport and a headshot, and Leo and Katie get all the visas done for us. I think they're $90. Well, back in China days, we sent them all to you. We just send you the actual passports, but he had them all back to us within 72 hours. And we don't even have to do that anymore. So they make it very, very simple.
Deborah, I have a question here. Aside from the inspection trips, which it sounds like you think are absolutely required, for the actual trip itself, do you recommend that a chamber executive be on that trip, and does that help increase participation?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why. I would never send a group without a chamber representative, ever. Because if something happens, it's back on you. And so Leo has it set up so that if you get 30 people, you can send a representative for no cost. He covers that. And it's really awesome because I'm going to share my first experience with Leo. We went to China and we had a traveler, unbeknownst to us, we were going up the Great Wall and he had a heart attack on the Great Wall. And I was up there with all the rest of my group and someone said, Deb, you got to go down and get help. Well, Peter was with us. Leo's son was with us. And it was flawless. They had a medical support there. They had him in the hospital. They took care of him. So you have to have a representative there. And I know Leo always has a representative there. So you know that that trip is going to be perfect.
Thank you.
And we encourage everybody to get the insurance too.
Well, with that, unfortunately, we're getting right up against our closing time. So I'm going to thank both of you for sharing your experiences with all of us. Thank all the attendees for joining us today, and remind everyone that we have a speed meet and greet starting at 3:30. And so I hope to see most of you there. Leo, would you like to close us out with any final words for the attendees?
Only one word. Welcome all the audience to join our free inspection trip to any of the 70 different itinerary, 80 different country. So we enjoy the chamber CEO or tour organizer to join us to share with our knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you,
good afternoon.
Deborah. Deborah, you helped me a lot.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Deborah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Beth.
Beth. Beth, join our free inspection trip, okay?
I'll be there. Bags packed.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.